Hill.
BBC Tees.
It's just after 8 minutes past 7 on this dull, cold and cloudy Sunday morning, but don't worry, we're nice and warm inside, so pull up a seat, make a cup of coffee or something, and just hopefully enjoy the next couple of hours. Got some great stuff for you. Now, if you've been listening to the programme over recent weeks, you'll know that we've been talking on the programme in those recent weeks about encouraging more men into church. Apparently some people think that churches are a little bit too female-friendly. It's the music, it's the terminology. But have faith, hope is at hand. One group that's doing its best anyway holds meetings every Sunday in one of the bars at Teesside University. It's part of the Newcastle Christian Life Centre. You may recall a couple of weeks ago we met their pastor, Nathan Bruce. Well, another member of the church is Andy Rose, and his involvement's a little bit different because he's also a music maker, and his music aims to make his church a little bit more male-friendly. I asked him to tell me about his music and his band.
Well, we're basically a sort of contemporary rock kind of Christian band. We kind of play a lot of contemporary music. We have done for a number of years. We're all part of the church in Teesside and in Newcastle as well.
So why did you choose the name Titus for the band?
Well, there's a guy called Matty and there's a guy called Pack in the band, and they were in a sort of youth group called Titus back in sort of youth group in church a number of years ago, and they kind of just carried that name forward to the band, really.
And do you often play at the services on a Sunday?
We're all part of the worship team on a Sunday, so we all play in the services as and when. Pac's one of the worship leaders in Newcastle. I play drums in the service, and Matt NG is one of the guitarists. So we've done a couple of sort of items, as it were, where we've performed as Titus, but we don't kind of generally put Titus on stage every week.
And to put it in sort of pop terms, is there a sort of Christian rock circuit on which you perform as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit quiet at the minute. There's been a number of sort of bigger bands in the Christian circuit that have kind of disappeared over the last few months, which is quite sad. But yeah, there is generally a Christian circuit of music that's on every year. There's Christian festivals that happen every year that we're trying to sort of get a bit more of a part of this year. But yeah, certainly there is a Christian circuit out there, yeah.
And as a type of music, is it becoming more popular, particularly amongst younger Christians?
Well, I think there's a relevance thing in there. You know, there's a lot of music out there that's kind of branded as Christian that can be sort of a little bit irrelevant to sort of popular demand, as it were. You know, you listen to the charts and stuff like that, and people aren't kind of writing a lot that's similar to that. And you know, with us, we kind of sort of see ourselves as quite contemporary, and we've come from quite a heavy rock background, and the new material that we've kind of written that is more recent has been kind of written with that in mind, you know, with a relevance, with a kind of an appeal to get ears listening and to kind of come across as a lot more relevant, you know.
Well, let's get a bit of a flavour now for Titus, and let's hear a clip from one of their tracks. It's called Wonderful Life. Wonderful Life by Titus. That's certainly one to shake the cobwebs out of the system on a Sunday morning. But Andy, what was the inspiration behind it?
Well, I mean, the inspiration for us, like I said, you know, it's kind of a relevance thing, and the music before that was a lot livelier than that, which is quite worrying, I suppose, really. You know, we've kind of calmed down a little bit, become a lot more melodic and a lot more kind of thoughtful as to how we write together, you know. As a writing process, that's kind of changed and evolved over the last couple of years when I've been part of the band, so we've kind of thought and sort of sat down and thought about how that's going to work and how we can write a song that's going to be sort of impacting and empowering. You know, we write with that in mind to sort of empower these younger guys to rise up and within the church and kind of to reach outside of the church as well, because, you know, that's just as important to us.
And one of the things we were talking about with your pastor Nathan the other week was the fact that churches are often now seen as rather more female-friendly environments, both in terms of the music and the terminology used. Do you think that your sort of music helps to make it a more male-friendly environment?
I think that's right. You know, like Nathan said, you know, that the church has been kind of feminized in a way, and kind of a male perspective on churches, you know, that it's not relevant for them, and all that kind of stuff, and it's a perceptional thing as well. You know, the first thing that springs to mind to a kind of non-Christian guy is, you know, the old pews, the old church, and that serves a purpose in a way, but it's kind of sad that that's the first thing that comes about, and it's kind of trying to change that perception as well, you know.
And are people sometimes surprised when they hear you perform, Andy? You know, they're expecting Onward Christian Soldiers, and then suddenly they get a bit of Christian rock.
Absolutely, and that's part of what we're about. You know, we're kind of trying to change that, and that's what we're really passionate about. You know, as NCLC and as Titus as part of NCLC.
And if you want the cobwebs shaken out of your system this Sunday morning, then you can see Andy at the Newcastle Christian Life Centre's Teesside branch service at Teesside University in the main hub bar there at about 11 o'clock this Sunday morning. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about Titus and his music, then they've got a website as well. It's www.titusrock.com.
Mike Hill, BBC Tees.